He's giving the crowd a wave. He's looking calm. He's looking relaxed. He's very methodical with his approach often. It's a heck of a lineup actually. There's a lot of competition here, so it's not going to be easy for Reece to get through. He doesn't have the highest difficulty in this final at all. But as well as the pommel horse final, we're also going to be running the women's vault at the same time. And Gianni, as a European bronze medalist yourself, you know what prep's like for a vault final. And I mean, it's one of these finals, isn't it? It's just over so quickly. How do you prepare for it? Because I mean, like I say, it's over in a shot.
Yeah, vault's one of those pieces where you have to do the numbers in training, you have to prepare your body for the landings, and I think a vault final is probably one of the most, biggest final really, where anything can happen. You know, you see some of the biggest vault workers, they don't land on their feet, or they take a big step. Anything can happen, and it literally comes down to who can land on their feet. And it sounds simple, but it really comes down to that in the final.
Yeah. And Beth, I mean, Turkey have done incredibly well, certainly on the men's side, you know, with the all-around and what have you. But they've got two gymnasts in this women's vault final too. I mean, they've been doing some incredible work. Yeah,
you can see that a lot of work has been going on behind the scenes. Obviously the men's team have been gradually coming up through the ranks over the past few years, and then that helps, that provides the role models for the younger generation coming through, both on the women's side and the men's side. So it gives that opportunity. On the women's vault, obviously they've got to show two different vaults, some gymnasts choose just to focus solely on the all-around and they don't ever work a second vault. So sometimes people go, this is my opportunity to make a final, let's get two vaults together and I can get through into that vault final. But it's incredibly difficult to get those two different vaults with the difficulty needed to make that final.
And when you say different vaults, Gianni, it's kind of like a different entry onto the springboard. That's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what it's like for the girls' code, but I know for the men's, you have to normally do kind of, you know, forwards and backwards, or you know, a different sort of entry. You can't do the same sort of entry and the same landing. You have to have two different vaults, and that's why with the men you'll see normally kind of a double front somersault vault and a twisting vault. But for the women's, you'll see a Yuchenko and maybe a handspring vault. The women,
and the key is that block, isn't it? The key is to transfer all that power from your run-up, bang, into that block and to get the height. Absolutely.
It's about, you know, having a nice controlled run-up, but impacting the vault and getting enough block to get the height that you need to then, you know, obviously have the landing that you want. So
yes, yeah. And these gymnasts will have warmed up in the training gym at the side of the arena, so they'll be coming in and pretty much going straight for it.
Yeah, so they've actually just recently last year changed the rules back again. They used to just warm up in the main arena, then you would have time in the back gym, and then you would just have to march out and go straight away. But obviously for the safety of the athletes, they've reintroduced the warm-up. So the first four gymnasts will get for vault, it's 2 touches. For the other apparatus between 30 and 50 seconds. But yeah, that's why you'll see 4 gymnasts warming up and competing, and then they'll have another warm-up period.
Okay, well, you can see the start list there of the men's pommel horse final. Just a quick one, Gianni. What makes the perfect pommel horse routine in your eyes?
Well, for me, it's just about staying on. It's a very shaky piece. I mean, staying on, and you'll probably get a score that you want.
But
this is an incredible final. I think it will be. I think Netherlands could challenge.
Yes, I do too.
You know, I think it's going to be an exciting final.
Yeah, and Beth, you looking forward to this women's vault final?
Yeah, I think Colleen from France, she's definitely the one to watch. But the Lisa from Belgium, she's going to be hot on her heels. They've both got 2 incredible first vaults, and then it's down to that second vault.
Okay, well, we'll hand across to Craig Heap and Christine Still in the commentary box for the men's pommel horse final and the women's vault final. I'll be over in a bit.
Thanks, Matt. Yes, we can just see the gymnasts warming up, making their final preparations. 2 pieces of apparatus going at the same time. Probably the first time, as long as I can remember, Chris, that we've not had, you know, British representation in the women's vault and the men's pommel horse. Seems strange.
Yeah, it does. We didn't bring any of our women's team ready to do 2 different vaults. Jess Gadarova often has, but she's been nursing an ankle injury, so didn't want to overload the vault. The all-around was more important, and that proved to be the correct decision last night when she won the all-around. But we have got gymnasts working in the background so that we would in the future hope to have representatives on the vault.
And people probably not involved in gymnastics I think, well, it's the same apparatus, surely you can just do another vault, but actually it's so technically different. It's almost like doing a different piece of apparatus, Chris.
Well, yes, it is. And if you think you're already working 4 pieces of apparatus, if you're going to do 2 completely different vaults, it's sort of like working a 5th piece. And very often, not here all the time so much, but very often people specialise on vault rather than be all-rounders and just doing 2 different vaults.
Yeah, and a bit same in the men's as well. It's very difficult because you have to have a different entry onto the vault. It's a different skill entirely. And what you tend to do is you favour whether it's a handspring or the half on or the Yurchenko. So it's probably because you don't like doing the other entries onto the vault. So to learn another way on is almost another training session in itself. So it would be great, actually, if Belgium could pick up a medal on vault. Lisa Valen qualified in 2nd place. I think she's a real chance. For me, Pommel's, it's for Reeses to lose, really. He's by far the best gymnast in the final. I think he'll go over 15. He's done a 14.966. And what I like really about Reese, over the last couple of years, he really has matured on and off the stage, and I think he's concentrating a lot more about his gymnastics, and the proof's in the pudding. He's putting together some of the best routines, and I think next year in Paris, if we get Max fit and if he makes the team, that will probably be the challenge of the games for me in gymnastics. But yeah, I mean, we're in for some great gymnastics on these next 2 pieces of apparatus.
Well, the stage is set. Reese is ready to try and win back this European title that he won back in 2018. He is the current world champion on this piece of apparatus. Reese McClenaghan of Ireland, first to go.
And when we talk about the execution of skills that you do, you just look at this and it's the height above the pommel horse, the extension at the front of the circle. You can see the hips up, and as Charney said then, it's just about getting through, but the top guys in the world get through with these such difficult routines. The work between the handles there, it's got such variety in this routine and a real pace about it. I often talk about pommel horse like riding a bike. The quicker you go, the easier it is to balance. A little bit of a separation there, probably a 0.3, but nothing major. Come on, work up into the handstand, no hesitation on the pirouette. He's through for me. That'll take some beating. Well done, Reese.
Well, he set the bar incredibly high with that. Not the highest difficulty in the competition, but the execution was more than fine.
Well done, Reese. It's tough opening the competition, especially when you're the favourite, but he held his nerve. A little error. He didn't punch the air in celebration. He knew he'd left a little bit of a door open, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't good enough for a medal.
Across the vault we go. Lisa Valen, second highest qualifier.
And using her favourite vault first, tariffed at 5.4. Very good handspring, straight front with 1.5 twists. She's had a heavy programme. We were watching her last night competing all around and doing absolutely superbly.
Yeah, a testament to the quality of athlete that she is. Day 3 of competition. Again, not just as fresh as some of the specialists, but that's a really good vault. 0.1 there for stepping out the landing zone. But will score well.
Yeah, probably not quite as flighty as we saw in the all-around, looking just a little bit more tired, but she's got very solid technique. You can see she lifts up, snaps in, and then the 1.5 twist. The fairly big deduction for the landing. The chest was pointing to the floor. To not have a deduction, your chest needs to be pointing to the platform.
Yeah. Little signs of fatigue.
Well, she'll get another vault, and the average will be taken. Belgium have a bronze as far as the tally is concerned. Yeah.
They were very impressive. The two gymnasts in the individual all-around yesterday really worked well. And when you think that they're here without their top gymnast, Nina Derwell, who's the Olympic champion on bars, she's got a bit of an injury and they decided to rest her from this Europeans. Add her into the mix with these gymnasts and Belgium are going to be a force.
Well, 14.033 for vault number 1.
So second vault has to be different. And she used a vault with a tariff of 4.4, 1 mark less. Yes, 4.4 again. It's the half on, the Sukahara with full twist. Well executed, good technique. But obviously with a tariff of 1 mark less, the total score is likely to be at least 1 mark less than her first score.
Yeah, it's always difficult to have 2 high-scoring vaults. Tend to do the more difficult vault first. So you can see the different entry onto the vaulting table there. First one was a handspring face forward. Second was the half on.
So Reese McClenaghan starts the pommel final with a 14.666. It's going to be close. Now there are gymnasts in this final that can certainly challenge that. Maxim Gentes is next up. 28 years old. He's got a 6.2 difficulty. That's 0.2 behind Reese McClenaghan. He posted a 6.4.
Got a good physique for this piece of apparatus. Tall and slender. That's a lovely skill there, showing great control and balance on one hand. It is all about generating speed in the double leg circle. Little hesitation there, got to keep this moving. Back down, that's good. Skill called the Buznari. That's the woo, it's not a cocktail. And again, back down. Come on, well done. This is some nice clean work. The forward travel, the Magyar, very common on this piece of apparatus. Often some gymnasts that qualify will up the difficulty in the final. Good control, nice routine. I don't think it'll go above Reese, but a real credit.
Yeah, it was efficient, wasn't it?
It really was. Body language is absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
We saw the guys from Belgium in the all-round, they're absolutely loving the gymnastics.
Yeah, they certainly seem to have a very good spirit within the team. And he has super style, hasn't he? Really matches Reese with style.
If you notice the routine, it just didn't have the same speed of circle, you know, and the problem is, if you make the circle slow, it takes a lot more energy. And often you see him falter a little bit on the dismount.
Well, over to his compatriot, 13.583 for Lisa Wallen. That's the average. So that's the score for all of the women vaulters to follow. Billinger Turan of Turkey now. Turan, 18 years old. What a moment for her, though, to be competing at the Euros in front of a home crowd.
Certainly is, and she starts with the full twist. Inyashenko, very popular vault and very nicely executed. We didn't see any Turkish gymnasts in the women's all-around final, so this is our first view, but that was classy work.
Yeah, great to see the home nation being represented in this final.
Well, she scored a 12.8 for that vault in qualification.
I would have thought it might be a little bit higher than that.
She opts for the Yushenko. You see the round off onto the springboard backflip on. Great angle this. What's really nice for me about the twist is she doesn't twist off the top. You can see there she blocks the somersault, drops the shoulder, initiate the turn, and if you do that, you're less likely to go off to one side. You'll see some of the gymnasts, if they turn a little bit early, it pulls them to one side. Technically, that is as good a twisting technique as you'll see.
And she was extremely straight. She landed on the red line down the middle, and there's a judge at the end just checking whether they do land on that red line or not.
Well, 13, yes, so slightly higher than what she scored in qualification. Awarded the 4.2 for difficulty. The second vault here potentially maybe slightly easier. She went for a 4 in qualification. Still managed to score up and around that 12.8.
Well, the gymnast has to stand there and wait for the green light to go on the judges' table. If you go before the green light comes on, you get a 0. Once the green light goes on, you have to go within 30 seconds or you get a 0. So it's no good being one of those gymnasts who needs 2 minutes to think about it before you do a move.
No, you've no time to think about it, Chris, that's for certain.
Off she goes, second vault, tariffed her to 4. Oh, handspring pike front with half turn, good second vault actually. Like really 2 completely different vaults, one the flip on, one the handspring entry.
Good solid vaulting, just needs a little bit more difficulty. Easier said than done. These gymnasts spend hours and hours in the gym. But again, another good alignment.
2 very well landed vaults, and much better to see that than something she can't do properly.
Oh, look at this. 14.566. Hogentes is just a hair's breadth behind Rhys McClenaghan, who hangs on in the lead.
Well, he's happy
just
with that.
0.1.
I think Rhys was happy with that as well.
Well, Dabchan is next up. He's qualified with a difficulty score of 5.7. He dropped the difficulty level to 5.4 in the all-round. But he was European champion on pommel 2 years ago. So he can challenge, and off he goes, the 3rd gymnast in this men's European pommel final.
Well, he's a very stylish gymnast, and what he lacks on difficulty, he makes up for with the style. He's got a good extension on the circle there on the one handle. The turns are Stockley's. The more of them you put together, the bigger difficulty is travelling backwards there. There you can see the woo travel going forwards. And again, he does a triple Russian on the end into the dismount. What's this? Oh, solid, clean routine. It's just a shame he hasn't got the difficulty, otherwise he would really push Rhys. But again, he's had a bit of a full programme, this gymnast. 30 years of age. Real credit to Armenian Gymnastics.
He's got a very efficient line, a very efficient swing. But he just a little bit low over the handles there.
12.816 is the average. Bilinca Turan of Turkey, the first of the 2 Turkish gymnasts in the women's vault final. Asia Damato is next.
Great to see her back. She was last year's European champion and injured herself in the vault final, so this will be a significant moment for her to vault. Oh, and look at that. She does so with loads of confidence and aplomb. Double twisting Yushchenko, flips on, high into the sky, 2 twists. Great to see.
Yeah, gosh, and as you say, a big moment, Chris. You know, injuring herself in this very event at the last Euros. She got a silver in the Euros as well on this piece of apparatus when she injured her ankle.
Yeah, great vault that. Again, you can see good timing on the twist. There's that slight pause from the top of the platform. really does accelerate. Such a confident gymnast. You really have to attack this vault with confidence, Yurchenko, and without stating the obvious, all the vaults, but for the double twist, you really do have to assert yourself, don't you, Chris?
Oh yeah, you do. You've got to be prepared to block and twist. It's sort of the next level of gymnastics. If you want to be a really, truly world-class gymnast all around, you have to be able to double twist at least a Yurchenko.
Well, the Italian qualified third. Already has a team silver to her name.
Saw her twin sister perform yesterday so well in the all-around competition.
Here's your D'Amato, vault number 1. Scores 14. It's big.
Second vault, Asia D'Amato, Italy.
Another big vault here. Needs to land it clearly. She half turns on. Oh, and that's a beautiful vault, although she was offline, and you can see not very happy with herself. She makes the round off in front of the board and then half turns. So as she flips on, she makes the half turn. It's quite a complicated vault, this, and easy to be offline. You see here comes the round off, and then she turns on, but she doesn't quite get cleanly round. I love her shape in the air, however.
I'm going to say, I think she's been a bit harsh on herself there, thinking where she came from last year.
Dabchan, 14.266. He goes into third, so Rhys McClenaghan hangs on for now. Matvey Petrov of Albania next up, the 32-year-old. He's the eldest gymnast in this pommel final. Now, he was the European champion on pommel horse 3 years ago. He's been in a world final as well. Now, he has a 6-2 difficulty and scored a 14.5 in qualification. So looking for a medal. He has a chance.
Oh, and that's lovely work, showing great control. It's a piece of apparatus where they've really got to swing. He's got good extension, had to pull his hips back a bit there, but recovered well. They're working on the one handle. It is so difficult to balance up into the handstand. He'll come back down. Oh! And I was going to say, you need to keep the swing going, the momentum in the pirouette, because when you come back down into the circle, you cannot use strength. And I think he was just trying to control it a little bit too much.
What a shame, yeah.
I was going to say, because it was looking good.
Poor lad.
Oh, you could see how far away his centre of gravity was from his support, couldn't you? There was no way of holding that back.
So back onto the pommels, into the flares. That's the spindle. Always look impressive, the flares. Look at the good leg separation, the forward travel, the Magyar, and again backwards in the Chavado. This is lovely pommel work. Such a shame. Up into the handstand, the pirouette. Well, a story of what could have been, because some very nice original pommel work.
Yeah, I liked that routine, its pace and fluency a lot.
Yeah, good effort. What a shame. 32 years old. Can he be back at 33? Yes.
I'm sure, yes. Lovely style on those flares. And when the legs are meant to be together, they're absolutely locked.
Asia D'Amato goes into the lead with an average of 13.6.
I think you were right. She was hard on herself there. It wasn't so terrible.
And a better combined score than qualification.
Yeah, so 13.6 leads ahead of 13.583, which is Lisa Wallen's score. On we go with Casimil Rasmussen.
Oh, and that wasn't the plan, I don't think. A flip on and a tuck back off. She'd nominated a vault at a 5 difficulty level, but that won't... The judges judge what they see, so they will change the tariff.
18 years
Yeah,
young.
very strange. Obviously something not just right. Gymnasts are really quick to react. Unless she's a bit... yeah, she didn't get her hands on at all there, did she?
No.
Just fingertips, and she probably, what we're going to do, a 1.5, Chris? 5?
Silver medal winner
Yes.
on
Yeah,
vault.
1.5
Yeah.
twist.
World Cup in Doha.
So again, I mean, the reactions to make that adjustment.
Because she was right at the front as well, wasn't she? Yes, yeah, you're right. She was too high on. And it can be very dangerous to not get enough rotation off the top.
And qualifying in 4th place, so actually, real chance of a potential medal there.
18 years old. What a shame. Put this one down to experience. She'll go again.
But she does the planned second vault. She doesn't do that vault again, or I don't expect her to. There was a time when the judges deducted a mark for doing the wrong vault if you've nominated one, but now they just judge what they see. Obviously, it'll be a lot lower tariff. It was basically a Tukchenko.
I mean, luckily she got her fingers to the vault.
Yep. So a difficulty of 3 instead of 5.
For Rasmussen,
11.533 for that first vault.
Second vault now for Camille Rasmussen of Denmark.
So Asia D'Amato leads this vault final on 13.6. Lisa Wallen, 13.583. Just hair's breadth behind. Rasmussen then with her second vault.
Be good to see her make this successfully. And she does. The Sukahara with full twist. What a shame.
Camille Rasmussen.
Was indeed that, Chris, because second vault was good.
19 Nordic
Great to show a bit of character there after a disappointing first vault to come back. Such a powerful gymnast. Look there, the half turn on into the Sukahara straight with a full twist. Good alignment as well.
Petrov scores a 13.266.
Without the mark off, he would have been right up there.
He would have been.
Well, 14.266, but then again he'll lost some of the difficulty for not making that combination. Well, I hope he comes back. Want to see him again because some really nice pommel work there.
Petrov of Albania.
So these are the 4 gymnasts who've already competed. They watch the next 4 warm up. And as you can see, the men don't do their full pommel routine in warm up.
Well, it's just a bit of a touch of the apparatus. I mean, there's one good vault, I would say, to come onto the next group. Chris, really, from France, Colleen.
Yeah.
It should probably take the title if she gets 2, but I think there were some really good vaults there from Asia D'Amato. And then one gymnast who could potentially challenge Reese for the top spot. The Dutch guy, Lohan de Monk.
12.249 is the average for Rasmussen. What a shame. But at 18 years old, a good lesson, Chris.
Yeah, and Denmark, you know, they haven't got many finalists. Great for her to have made the European final. She no doubt will have come with that as her aim.
Agnes Ikovtan. This is such a difficult piece of apparatus for sapping strength. You know, the double leg circle, they probably do. I remember, I'm saying back in the day, used to do a Magyar Shavado and get off. I mean, the number of circles these guys do in the routine now is just absolute phenomenal. And the strength you need. to get through, so he will be feeling very fatigued. And there's your current leader on pommel horse, Rhys McClenaghan. 14.666 to beat. He'll have a bit of an edgy weight, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the next gymnast to come up, Laurent de Munck, is going to challenge him. He's gonna challenge. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be an anxious wait.
And we start
Well,
the
he's got the
second
big
part
start value, hasn't he?
of the
Yes,
fourth
yeah,
final
he was sixth
with an athlete from the Netherlands.
in the world final, and he fell. He got a silver at last year's Euros. So this could well be his moment.
Well, I think when the favourite makes a slight error, it's about seizing the opportunity. But he'll be feeling very pressured for certain, because here's the opportunity
Yeah.
to take the title.
He's the only gymnast from the Netherlands to medal on pommel horse at the Euros. Can he upgrade his silver and go for gold? It's an anxious wait for Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan, who leads this pommel final.
Well, a little bit short there on the handstand. He's going to have to really try and relax into the routine. And again, oh, that's good work on the one handle. Oh, and again, that little separation of the legs down between the handles, the Russian Wendy swing. Not just the same extension as Rhys, but that was good work. He's building in confidence, and again another little separation. The forward travel, the Magyar, he'll come backwards, and the Javado up into the handstand with the pirouette. Well, for me, he had a few errors. It won't be good enough, I don't think, to go above Rhys, but another good routine. Should medal.
It didn't feel as sharp, did it, Chris?
No, it didn't. And like you said, Craig, there were a couple of errors, leg split. It didn't quite have the fluency, did it? But he's a good pommel worker. He might sneak into the medals.
Yeah, I think he might, just because of that huge start, difficulty 6-5. We'll have to wait and see.
For Turkey,
Ceren Biner, 8th highest qualifier and the second of the Turkish gymnasts.
And nicely flighted full twisting, Yushchenko. Beautiful straight body. Lovely and tight in the legs. They've done a great job, Turkey, putting two gymnasts into the vault final, because they're not a country on the women's side so highly ranked.
Yeah, we often associate Turkish gymnastics, the men's side, so it is absolutely fantastic to see the women pushing through into these finals.
Clean, precise work as well. It is the piece if you want to make a bit of a name for yourself. Like, you know, obviously Turkey are hosting this championships, and they will have said, we'd like some gymnasts, some female gymnasts in our finals. Where's the best opportunity to make finals? And vault is definitely has that opportunity.
Yeah, certainly with the two vaults, because again, a lot of the top gymnasts all around will only do the one vault. So you're right, there's a lot of strategy goes into some of this, you know, the format for the competition.
There's the score for Ceren Biner, 13.066.
Ceren Biner, 13.066. Vault number 1.
Time for the second vault of Ceren Biner, Turkey.
So again, has to be different. Just a 3-8 this time, or in the tuck position from the half on, not from the round off. So the tuck shape doesn't carry such a good difficulty score as the straight. The body travels a little slower in the straight position, so it's a higher tariff. The half turn on from the board. Tuck, very nice and neat again though. Legs locked together.
Yeah, good alignment as well.
And enjoying the moment, home crowd.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we have a score on pommel horse. Yes, indeed.
Well, De Monk scores 14.266.
No fooling the judges.
No.
You know, I mean, some deductions are hard to see, but they were pretty obvious there. The leg separations. Had an opportunity, let it slip.
Radomir Sliš next for Czech Republic. He's 23 years old. He scored a 14.33 in qualification.
Oh, and he should have gone back into the handle there, so he'd be down on the difficulty, but he's recovered well. Another gymnast that's got a good extension of the double leg circle. Physique suited to this piece of apparatus. Long levers, long lines. There, the travel, the Wu. He'll go forward, the Magyar. And backwards, great to see the Czech Republic represented here in this pommel final. He's going for the Wendy on the end into the dismount. Nice routine. I think he might just struggle a little bit on the difficulty.
Well,
he's through.
Yeah, he's through. Reese McLennan leads 14.66. Gentes of Belgium currently in second at 14.566, and then Davtjan in third, 14.266.
Long wait here for this score.
And there's the score of Binan,
Ceren Bina is in.
12.766. D'Amato still in first place.
12.766.
And Bilge Tarhan.
Well, here comes the highest qualifier for the women's vault final. Colleen de Vuillard, European champion back in 2017. She was third last year. Brace yourselves.
Well, she's certainly had a good season. Oh, lovely 1.5 twist. Yeah, she's done a lot of World Cups and she's had a very good season on vault. That was a powerful, strong vault.
Yeah, powerful gymnast.
The bronze medalist of the
Going on
World
for the handspring,
Championships in
1.5 twist. Look, you can see head down really accelerates. 25 metres the gymnasts have. Drives her hands in, blocks, wraps in. 1.5 twist. Plenty of time to open out the arms, stop the twisting movement, spot the ground, chest up.
She really does run like a long jumper, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like pounds along that runway. The theory on coaching vault is that your gymnast wants to be running at about 70% of their maximum down the runway. But I think she was a bit higher than 70% for her maximum there.
Well, interesting, you talk about athletics. She has a very traditional sprinter start.
Yes.
Head down.
Yeah.
And then you come up, and you don't see many actually. So I wonder if they have done sprint training.
Oh, I think probably so. I mean, it is slightly different if you're going to do the Yushchenko vault, because if you're travelling too fast, you can't convert into the round off. But this forward vaulting like she does.
14.3.
De Vuillard, point number 1, 14.3. It's big, it's going well. It's looking on for a European title here.
Well, she needs to match it with the second vault. Always a tough call, but that same distinctive style into the round off this time, and the full twist. Not such a difficult vault, but beautiful technique and beautiful height off the top. It's going to be close, I think.
I agree, Chris. And actually, for a vault final, a full twist is quite a safe second vault. I mean, great execution in the air. You know, that one step back, 0.1.
Well, 13.6 is the target. fifth.
And there's a
For
score
Slish,
on pommel horse,
13.6.
of the Czech Republic. Reese McClanahan will be the first.
See down on his start value, 5'6".
Yeah, he's in fifth, so McClanahan leads. Gentes second, Davchan third. On we go then with Yumin Abadini.
Well, it breaks into some nice flare work outside of the handles, the spindle. This is really nice work. Good clearance of the horse. Travel with the spindle in the flare and again backwards. You used to get a bonus for doing it in flare, but then the judges put it back down. It's the same now as the double leg circle. Little bit of a strength into the dismount, but good solid routine. Will it be good enough to push for a medal? Needs 14.266.
Which is what he scored in qualification. He scored, he actually was slightly down in the all-round. He scored 14.1, but he's gonna push. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think he'll push for first, but he might challenge for a medal. That'd be great for Italy.
Well, that would be Davchan out.
I want Davchan to keep the medal. He's doing it for the old guys.
There you are, change your mind
Hope
then.
for me and you, man.
Well, interestingly, Italy, of course, on the men's side won the team, and it was their pommel horse that won it for them.
13.8. De Vuillard is in the lead. She's in the lead by 0.2.
Which was exactly what D'Amato knew when she landed outside of the line, which was why she was so cheesed off. Oh, super height. Oh, but I think that was a bit of an uncomfortable landing there. It didn't look short, but she just didn't meet the floor very well.
No, I don't think she'll be doing a second vault. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you can just land a little bit short. The ankle bone as well, you sometimes have ridges, and if they just nip together, it can be quite painful, and it looks like that'll be the end of a competition.
Because it was actually a well-flighted vault. She just sort of didn't look like she quite got her legs ready for landing.
And again, you need to take the sensible option. Qualified in 6th place, so little potential, probably not great, but 15 years of age. Just want to make sure that she can come back and compete again.
So she's just testing that ankle out, seeing what it feels like.
14.166 for Aberdeen. Not just good enough to push into the medals. She'll be going back to the vault for the second vault. No, she's just going to stick to the one vault, I think.
Which means that Maxime Gentes from Belgium will be medalist number 2.
Do you think is she going back there, Chris, doing a second vault?
She looks like she's walking back for a second vault, doesn't she? Sometimes it's just a bit of a shock of a landing. But, well.
Gutsy lady.
Yeah, it wasn't, well, we didn't see a close-up of it, but it didn't look a tremendously short landing, but it looked uncomfortable.
12.8. Masiri of Greece, first vault.
12.8 in her first vault. And here she goes again. Athanasia Mesiri.
So second vault, Athanasia Mesiri of Greece.
And she's certainly running freely. Oh, very nice second vault as well. The half turn on, the pike front off. She's a young gymnast. She looks like she's got quite a prospect to be a good vaulter in the future.
Yeah, I was really surprised where that vault came from, actually, because it was very powerful off the top of the platform. And again, that's what they're thinking. This definitely is a gymnast of the future for this piece of apparatus. What you can see there really accelerates down the round off. Half turn, great alignment as well, Chris.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Now, with a bit more training to be able to half turn out or 1.5 turn out of that, you could see she would be a real contender in the future.
Yeah, well done.
And we go to Pommel horse again. Final competitor in this final. From Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun.
From Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun. Such a experienced and favoured gymnast here.
14.4 in qualification, so if he can replicate that, that would secure him a bronze medal. He really has matured over these past couple of years into a solid performer. A real all-rounder. Just a little bit of a separation there. That's good work. Got to keep the driving of the heels. Come on, well done. Lovely difficult work. Travel down the horse and again. Triple Russian circle on the end. Come on, up into the handstand. Pirouette, dismount. Good routine, Kovtun. I really hope that's good enough for a medal, Chris.
Lovely to see from Kovtun. Obviously, he's not being able to train in his home country. He and his coach, believe, are training in Croatia, living away from home. And we've seen him compete at most of the World Cup events over this last couple of years. And like you say, Craig, we've seen him on the public stage really mature as a gymnast.
He has indeed. You can tell when he walks off, he is looking a little bit fatigued. This is really impressive vaulting, Chris, from this young, great gymnast.
There we are, an average of 12.75. I think she's made a lot of friends here.
Well, first look at Romanian gymnast.
Will be medalist number 2.
Just an end, 15 years of age. Sabrina Manicu Voni. She was first on the vault in the Junior Europeans.
Oh, and lovely double twist there. Of course, with a very famous mother, Voina, who wowed us in the great days of Romanian gymnastics. So
I'm not that old, Chris, so I'll have to take your word for that. Well, that double twist seemed to come from nowhere, to be fair. I wasn't expecting it because, you know, we see some of these run-ups and they really attack the board, but it looked a very well-measured approach to the springboard and then just wraps in this double twist. Almost like a little stutter on the springboard.
Yeah, some gymnasts really don't like to approach the Yushchenko too fast. They like to feel a bit more in control of it. But if you hit it, the platform at the right angle, that's the crunch. And with the head well fixed between the arms, which she has there, you can see she lifts off. Now, no doubt if she ran a little faster, it would be a longer vault. And she'll probably be penalised a little bit for the length of the vault, that it blocked up but didn't have much length. But she's a young gymnast, first senior championships, and Romania hoping for much from her.
Yeah, and this new generation of gymnasts for sure. Well, double twist so good on difficulty. So, I mean, she qualified in 5th place. I mean, this would be fantastic for Romania. 13.8! 8.8 on the execution. That's a good opening score. She had 13.6 in qualification for that vault. So second vault, Voina of Romania to challenge for a vault medal.
Still a very measured approach, the half turn on the front. Again, good technique there. I'm sure that can be developed well. Camila Voina was her mother, or is her mother, and she was very famous for the double straight into punch front that she competed on floor.
In her very first European Championship.
So the different entry
into the final
onto the vault, round off, half turn into the pike front somersault. I mean, not just as zippy as Missouri from Greece for the second phase, but be a good average. And Koftan scores 14.233. Settles for 5th. So confirmed, Rhys McClenaghan of Ireland becomes European champion for the 2nd time, last back in 2018. Maxime Gente of Belgium takes the silver. And what about that? Arthur Davitan, 30 years of age, takes a bronze.
Well done, Rhys. He soaked up all the pressure, was the man to beat, went out first and laid down a score that nobody could match.
World champion, European champion, really developing in a fine gymnast. Well done, Rhys, and all his coaching team.
Still wait for a score of votes.
.083, the average puts her into 4th. So Colleen de Villiers takes the gold medal, takes the title. Asia D'Amato the silver, and Lisa Velen the bronze. Very much the 3 gymnasts that we would have expected in this top group.
Actually, that's 1, 2 and 3 from qualification.
Yep.
So confirmation of the men's Pomelos final. European champion Rhys McClenaghan from Ireland takes the gold. Maxime Gente of Belgium the silver, and Arthur Davitan of Armenia the bronze.
And here's confirmation of the vault. Colleen de Villiers from France, their first medal of the championships on the women's side. Asia D'Amato the silver, and Lisa Velen of Belgium the bronze medal.